He play
Defensive end.
defensive
He's
end.
like another MICAH.
For real?
Yeah. I
Nice.
think he might be faster than MICAH.
That's OP. That's
And
crazy.
and we got a kid. He wear number 41. Watch out for him. He gonna be good. I like how he work. He worked real hard. He's fast too.
It's been like
we got a lot.
around, and would you kind of pick his brain at all?
Yeah, it's been good. We actually went to dinner last night. We had like a little D-line dinner last night, and we were just chopping up the whole time, getting to know each other. And it's been really cool. Definitely picking his brain. That's somebody, got to learn a few things from that guy. But it's been really good.
You guys make him pay?
Nah.
He was talking about how you love playing the right side and he loves playing the left, and just
He threw that in there.
with the big
Okay.
smile, and as you said,
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
big smile, just talk about just the early chemistry that you guys are building in that room with Michael Lee.
Yeah, I would say the chemistry is getting really strong. We actually had a conversation about this together today, and that's something that we need to do to move forward and to be the best defensive line that we possibly can be and want to be. So that's hanging out outside of the facility, picking each other's brains, holding each other accountable, just chit-chatting, checking up on each other. That's something that we need to do and we're going to do. And I think that's what's going to help us be successful this year.
He also said he wanted an egoless room.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you, and how'd you receive that?
Nobody's above anybody. We all have different successes, or we've all done certain things already in the game, or I haven't done anything. But it doesn't matter. If one guy isn't going hard, we're gonna get on that guy the same way. If anybody else was not going hard, everybody's equal. So that's pretty much what we mean by that.
What's good, people? It's your boy, Mr. Rome, Cowboys Fan Talk, right back. Like I never left. What's going on with y'all? Happy Sunday. Listen, I know training camp can't get here fast enough. It's the dead period. It ain't nothing to talk about. So what us content creators got to do is dig deeper and find something that we should be talking about. Today, I want to talk about our second round draft pick, Donovan Ezeiruaku. But before I get too far into the content, do me the biggest favor. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button. If you're already part of the family, you the cartel, welcome back. Now, Donovan Ezeiruaku, right? Very, 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 very special talent. Literally, I've said this when we first drafted him. I said, he reminds me of Hassan Reddick. And I'm sure some of y'all probably thought that was sacrilegious. But what if he is more like Micah Parsons than Hassan Reddick? Now I know y'all gonna be like, yo, Rome, you taking it a little too far. First you comparing him to Hassan Reddick. Now you comparing him to Micah Parsons, and he hasn't taken a snap yet. I get it. But the way this young man moves, the way he rushes the passer, at least what I've seen from his college tape, and I won't show it because they be tripping on copyright stuff, but I did show you the clip earlier in the video of how he's training. And you can go back and watch that. That ain't normal speed. It ain't a camera trick in the world that can make him look that fast. He's surprisingly strong for his size. His dip and his bend is crazy. That's what I'm comparing to Micah Parsons. I needed you to at least see it visually, just to see it. You want to go see Donovan Ezeiruaku highlights? It's really easy to find on YouTube. Just go look it up. But because I can't show it. But his dip and his bend is different. It's different. And when you heard him in the beginning of the video talk about his chemistry with Micah, it really, really opened my eyes to like, yo, we might end up with one of the best pass rushes, the youngest, best, most talented pass rushers in the NFL in the next couple of years. This isn't hyperbole. This isn't like me just reaching. Look, Foots the King put up a, shout out to Foots, put up a graphic on his Twitter yesterday. And the graphic really, really, really made me open my eyes to like, yo, how good is Donovan Ezeiruaku, right? Graphic showed the 40-yard split, 10-yard split, 3-cone, right? 20-yard split, vertical jump, broad jump, bench press. Listen to the comparison. Just listen to the comparison. And then I'm going to play a clip of Vach Lombardi and Brian Broaddus talking about the same thing before y'all just say, Rome, you just talking. You overhyping things as usual. Because I know y'all love to tell me that. But I know a lot of y'all respect the eyes of Brian Broaddus, former scout, and Vach Lombardi, you know, world-renowned draft expert. Outside of Rome, just, you know, hype Cowboys fan, as y'all like to peg me. But listen, 40-yard split, right? 40-yard dash. MICAH's 4.36, next level. We don't have one on Donovan. Not that I can find. I think it's around 4.4, though. 10-yard split, 1.61 for Donovan, 1.59 for MICAH. Very close. 3-cone, 3.94 for Donovan, 3.94 for MICAH. The same. 20-yard shuttle, 4.19 for Donovan, 4.40 for MICAH. A little bit better than MICAH. Vertical jump, 35.5 for Donovan, 34 inches for MICAH. Can jump higher than MICAH. Broad jump, 119 inches for Donovan, 126 for MICAH. That's MICAH. Bench press, 22 reps for Donovan, 19 reps for MICAH. Now, I know underwear Olympics, measurables don't matter, but they do. But it does tell the story of why we took him when we have a example of what those measurables can look like if used properly on the NFL field. Micah Parsons is one of the, if not the best pass rusher in the NFL. I'll only argue with you probably about Myles Garrett. Micah's like that, right? If Donovan can become half of Micah, no teams have Micah and then a half of Micah on the other end. Like, we would be changing the game 100%. So listen to what Vach and Brian Broaddus have to say about what we could do moving Donovan around and how this can help this team.
Brian, Donovan Ezeiruaku is like your third threat here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He has the luxury of rolling out there and Micah getting all the attention.
Right.
And then Dante Fowler's not going to get as much attention as Micah does, but Fowler's going to get a ton of respect over there, Brian.
Right.
Brian, what do you think with Coach White Cotton and how Eberflus is? And we know that Donovan Ezeiruaku is going to be, because we was, you know, with the OTA stuff,
yeah.
right? We know that he's going to be deployed all over the line of scrimmage, all over the D-line.
Right.
Brian, I don't think this learning curve for Donovan Ezeiruaku is going to be too bad, Brian, because what's going to happen is in these rundowns, he may not even have to be on the field.
Sure.
And when it's time for these pure, clear passing downs, he's the third, fourth threat out there, Brian Broaddus.
I like what you're saying. I'll tell you what.
Go ahead.
Remember when we were having our discussions about him,
Sure.
and even pre-draft, and you know, as you were doing all the work, and you kind of setting him on the board, and you're thinking, why does this guy look like the third or fourth best pure pass rusher in the draft? Remember we were talking about him and Green, the guys, the Marshall kid and all that. We were kind of talking about, you know, we had some questions about kids, but every time you mentioned Ezeiruaku, it was
Carter, Mike Green, Ezeiruaku.
It was like, Brian, did you see the bend on that kid?
Top three guys.
You see how you see, that's what I'm saying. Talking to folks over there, trust me, I'm not trying to always say this. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass on this one. But the thing that they feel like they stole one here. They feel like that where they had him, and I'll get where they had him on that board. But they feel like they really stole one there. But the thing that we appreciated about him as a player, and this is why I think the learning curve will be small. This kid knows how to rush the passer.
Sure.
He knows how to bend.
Yep.
He knows how to dip. He knows how to like counter moves.
60 pressures last year.
Yeah. See?
Now, when you hear that, right? You hear that. Now you've heard it from experts, not just from Rome. We might have stole us one. We just might have stole us one. Donovan Ezeiruaku, we might have two Micahs. And I know you could say, no, we're not going to have two exact Micahs. Micahs are one of a kind, you know, generational type talent. But like I said, if Donovan is, let's just say he's Hassan Reddick, to have both of those on the same team, you can't do what most teams have to do, which is shift their blocking to MICAH, chip MICAH, put lots of resources on stopping MICAH. You gonna leave Donovan by himself? God forbid you do that to Donovan and leave MICAH by himself. But the fact that we have Dante Fowler is when it gets crazy. Fowler on the edge, Ezeiruaku on the edge, move MICAH around like a chess piece, or MICAH on the edge, Fowler on the edge. Now we can move Ezeiruaku around like a chess piece, meaning you don't know where it's coming from, which is one of the biggest things that help football teams have success. The element of surprise, not knowing how to game plan for. Now, in the first year, I'm going to give him a bit of not a pass, but I'm not going to expect him to come out here and be Von Miller, Micah Parsons, none of that stuff first year. First year, we get what we can from him. He a rookie. That's why we have Dante Fowler. Oh, but second year going forward, we might be cooking. MICAH would be turning 27, genuinely starting to head towards his prime. And Donovan would be right behind him a couple years. Our biggest problem right now, will be one thing, y'all. And I know y'all saying I'm getting ahead of the gun. It happens. How we gonna pay both of them? But look, it's your boy, Mr. Rome, man. Y'all let me know how y'all feel in the comments. Like I said, I know it's this time of year where we're gonna over-evaluate the roster over the next 30 days. And that's just what we're going to have to do. But I'm starting with Donovan Ezeiruaku because if he turns into what I think he can, Cowboys might have got lucky. I holla.